USBs can be very confusing. You have different standards for the physical connectivity of these things. There's an A, a B, and a C. There's an A, B, and so on. And then you also have different standards for speeds and the technology behind them as to how well they perform. And within each one, as you can see, there's a type A can be either a USB 1, 1.1, or 2, and then there's a type A for 3, 3.1, 3.2. You notice that this one is blue. We're going to talk about those colors in just a little bit. USB 4 is the latest one, and it can run up to 40 gigabits per second. You should know these standards, by the way. Are you going to be asked questions on those in the Microsoft MTA exam? I don't know, because I didn't see it called out in their official study guide, but I would kind of have a handle on them, at least know in general terms what they look like. C, of course, is the latest one, and it's got this. The nice thing about C is that this plug here can go either direction. Finally, I don't know why they didn't do that sooner, but they didn't, and so some phones are now coming out in C. I don't think you'll have to recognize mini and micro types. You should kind of become aware of them anyway for your own purposes, because you will be dealing with these things in the real world quite a lot, and I would kind of get to know these. And you'll notice that once we get to USB 3.2 and 4, we simply don't even have the micro versions any longer. And that's because we're switching over to C at that point. So kind of get to know those. But now I want to talk about these data rates and colors a little bit. Because you're going to find, I just recently bought this, you can't see it on the video here, but the Ryzen Threadripper computer. I had it custom built for me, and it's got enough USB ports to, I don't know what USB ports do, but it's got enough USB ports to do it. Kill a horse. And there are just colors galore. There are red ones, blue ones, yellow ones, white ones, teal ones. There are all sorts of colors on these things. So what do those colors mean, and how can you kind of interpret them? Well, the one thing you need to know is that there are no standards on those colors. So this is sort of an industry, this is what we do thing, and you'll see a few. In fact, we'll see at least one particular point of confusion on that. So USB 1, sometimes, many times they were black early on, but now often we're making those white. You get 1.5 to 12 megabits per second, depending on how you connect it and how you use it. There's USB, sorry about that little pop-up. My computer is urging me to update, and I'm on the Windows Insider program, so that's what that's about. USB 2, 480 megabits per second, and often those are now black today, although many of the black ones you see are earlier USB 1s before we started making a differentiation. USB 3s are often blue, and they'll run 5 gigabits per second. USB 3.1 can run 10 gigabits per second, and it's kind of a teal color, which is sort of a green-blue. Some people call it green, some people call it blue. It all depends on your color perception. USB 3.2 can run 20 gigabits per second. Often these are going to be red. However, this is where part of the confusion is, and I'm going to talk about another reason some of them are red in a moment. USB 4, I really haven't seen any color standards on that yet, but 40 gigabits per second. We don't have a lot of them out there. It also adds some other functionality, such as being a display port, so that so in some cases you might be able to hook a monitor or something that requires video or audio to that USB port. These are going to be mainly type C's, by the way. Now, yellow, orange, and sometimes red may indicate that the port is always on. So on the back of my computer, I've got some red ones. And those red ones are not, as far as I know, are not indicating 3.2. They are indicating that it's an always on port. So even if the computer is off, as long as it's plugged in and has power, it will stay on for charging devices. However, yellow may also mean the same thing, and orange may also mean the same thing. So next we'll talk about the IEEE 1394.